Hello friends, today we are going to do this lens. It is a Tokina 35-200 millimeters, and the problem it has is that here on the back there is this awful lot of haze that is making that the pictures look exactly like this, and that is for all apertures. And even at f11 you can see that the details are there, but somehow the contrast is being killed by this haze we have here. Okay, so what we're going to do is to disassemble the lens. This is going to be extremely simple, and I have to tell you as well, I am testing a new lighting setup. I am testing a new recording setup. So I hope all these improvements, you can see the difference and that you appreciate the difference. But then, okay, in the meantime, let us start working on this lens. So let us remove just the bayonet. So I am taking my J00 screwdriver tip I have here, and you can find it on the video description. Okay, so here we go, we have the bayonet out. Now what we're going to do is just to remove the aperture ring, and here, like in most Tokinas, you need to be careful because there is a little ball which is used to make this clicking sound you have here. So, and what it happens usually is that it falls. So when you're going to do your lens, so use something like a cloth, so you, when it falls, you avoid it to bounce and then get lost somewhere in the house that you will never be able to find again. Okay, so far so good. So what we're going to do now is to unscrew this element, and then to do so I will use my ubiquitous compass, and you can use also a lens spanner, but I kinda like my compass. So, and then here just be careful not to slip, and then you just apply some force, and then the lens is going to become loose. So here we go. I have put this little piece of glass on one of my rubber cones, and then just by disassembling, well, I noticed this because I disassembled the lens before when starting it this afternoon, and I saw also that there is a kind of fungus or haze spot. To remove that element as well, and we don't want to bother removing everything. So if you have this kind of problem in your lens, you will need a special tool, because usual spanners have a hard time getting into such little spaces. So I have this, which is like a cross compass, and you have it here. Okay, let me just dezoom a little bit. Okay, I made a mess. Okay, and then as you can see, the advantage of this compass is that the tips are spreading towards the exterior, and then here I can actually get in small spaces and then open it afterwards to reach something bigger. This is really useful for these kind of cases when you have a pass-through hole which is bothering you and you don't really want to disassemble the whole thing. And here you go. I just got it loose. Then what I will do to remove the element is to use the suction cup that I have here. This you can find also on the video description. And then I just lost my blower. Okay, here we go. And then this thing also very useful when the access is limited. So, and I have removed the element that interests me. And then since we are all the way here, what we can do as well is to remove the front. So we'll do a full clean of this glass, and then to remove the front it is rather simple. I just want to make sure I didn't lose the little ball. Okay, so here before we go, okay, and then I disassembled this lens this afternoon, and to do it, and then this is a common thing with the Tokinas, they use glues which are really strong, and sometimes you have to go with acetone just to dissolve them. I don't like doing it because it's toxic. Yeah, it's a very aggressive method to work on a lens. So what I usually do is I try initially with isopropyl alcohol, and what I did was to put, I have this little bottle of isopropyl alcohol, and then what I did was to fill around here, because I was able to see a trace of glue around, and then I put a few drops of glue, say 5 or 6, let it work. I just rotate it like this, so the alcohol goes everywhere. Let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then I came with my tool, force it a little bit, and it came out rather easily. Before doing that, I tried as well, and it wasn't really a success. Okay, so I have this element here, which happens to be clean, so we're not going to bother with it. We'll keep it somewhere safe. And then obviously if you have something like fungus or whatever in your copy, so this is the time to clean it and to remove fungus. You can take a look at this video, and then obviously you have the link on the corner, and there I explain everything you need to know how to prepare a recipe to remove fungus and obviously to clean fungus of a lens. And then we have the last element, and this afternoon when I was working on the lens I saw also a little spot here. So let us just take a look. And then usually there's slots for a spanner, but this afternoon when I tried it was very simple. It was exactly like that. I just put minimum force and it got loose. Okay, and then here we go, we have this element, and then as I told you there is also a little spot like before, and obviously we are going to clean that as well. Okay, and just to finish the disassembly we will do the most important part, which happens to be this one, which is the one that has the haze. And let us just take a closer look, and then we can see that it is behind this element here. And what we need to do, you can see also some traces of glue there, so it means we'll need to dissolve that glue somehow. As I told in the beginning, usually the Tokinas use rather strong glue. Sometimes I have recurred to acetone many times, but let us just try with isopropyl alcohol. So, and what you do is you dip a little bit, and after a few minutes the glue should have become weak enough so we can unscrew this thing without trouble. So just let me pick this, because the rubber cone that I need is actually this one. Yep. Okay, and with that we can remove this glass here, and then as you can see this one is very clean, and this one here, okay, not really easy to see, but yeah, it has all the haze in here. So this is all we need for this assembly. Okay, here we are ready for the cleaning. I will show you what I will use. So initially I have a really old microfiber cloth because we're going to do some dirty work. Then I'll be trying different stuff. So this is my standard lens cleaning fluid. I use this one, and then this is another one I use, but work rather well. But then to tackle this case, I'm not sure which one to use. So let's do some experimentation. Let me just start using the size. So this one you are supposed to put it on the cloth and then clean. So I'm going to misuse it just here for a second. Okay, I need to aim actually. Okay. There's also a good opportunity to clean my black glass. Anyway, so let's just see what happens. Okay, it went everywhere. This was not really intended. But then okay, it actually works super good. the haze is gone, like at 80%, which is very good news. So what I'm going to do, because haze, usually dealing with haze, is pretty much rubbing and rubbing and rubbing and rubbing, and then actually you can rub for a long time in some cases, like in this lens I show you here. So what I'm going to do is to keep rubbing, and then I'll come back in a few seconds to show you the final result. Okay, so here I am back, and it was actually quick. It took me like 3 or 4 passes using the size lens cleaning fluid that you have here. Okay, let me show you the whole bottle, and you can find this on the video description as well. Now the haze, it is gone. So what you see here is clean traces, because I use this really old microfiber rag. Let's call it like that. Now if I come with something newer, this thing should disappear rather easy. Oh, this one is a bit greasy as well. I should change it anytime soon. So let us just clean here on the back, just to get a better view. Okay, still not very clean, so let us just proceed to what I call the final cleaning. So I take my other lens cleaning fluid that you have here, and you find also on the video description. I will use a newer microfiber cloth. Okay, this one is clean, the other one is a bit greasy. I'm going to replace it. Okay, and then as you can see, it is very good now. So now, just to finish, let us just do the final touch, and this I will do using lens cleaning paper that I have here, that I use sometimes. And then my recommendation regarding this kind of paper is don't be cheap on lens cleaning paper, because the low quality one might scratch your glass, and the good quality one is going to work just fine. Okay, so and then just to be actually cheap and not to waste a lot of paper, I cut it in little squares, and then what I do is to use the lens pen, and then usually it should move around easily. Okay, and I am rather happy with the result. You can see the reflection of my lamps on the glass, and then what you see is what is happening on the back. This side looks rather good, so I'm going to keep it like that. So what I'm going to do is just to clean the other 2 pieces of glass that had a spot, and then we meet to reassemble the whole thing. So see you in a few seconds. here I am ready for reassembling the lenses. What I did was to clean everything. I removed the spots of the lenses you have here, which are covered with these glass covers. If you are interested in this kind of things, this one I bought it from some watchmaker, and the big one, it was like a cheese cover, so I just bought the cheese set and then I kept the glass bell. Okay, so you understood that I am covering them just to avoid having dust on the glass that I cleaned. And then what I'm going to do now is to reassemble the glass, and you will notice that I have this thing here. I just washed it like 2 minutes ago, and then what I'm going to do is to put the first part, which is going to be the most critical one, and I wash this so I don't leave any traces on the glass when manipulating it with this guy. I'm feeling the resistance now. Second step, this is the cross compass I just mentioned before, and then what I'm going to do is just to tighten. Here you go. I tighten it. Then what we can do is to put the critical part, which is this one. And then I am a bit disappointed because I was not really able to remove all the haze. So I guess that whatever that was, it actually damaged a bit the coating of the glass. Just let me finish screwing this. Okay, and then as you can see, there is a slight trace. It is a lot better than before, obviously, but there is a trace nevertheless. Okay, so far so good. Here we can actually finish the back. So let me just remove this. This I won't be needing anymore. So I'll need to put this and the aperture ring, and let us not forget the little ball that goes in here. And then if you wanted the little ball to hold, what you can do is just to put a little bit of grease so the ball is a bit sticky, and then it sticks around. So I put the ball, I look for the grooves on the part. This is where the ball is supposed to go, and then I come, I catch the ball, and then I put the thing, and I just make sure that I get this slot here, on this little thing on the slot on the ring, and then everything seems to be working properly. Yeah, you see the diaphragm there opening and closing. This is what we want. Okay, and then here, so we have this little lever, and then my guess, okay, it moves this way around, so it should be behind this lever that you see here. Okay, let me just show you that. So this lever here, which is moving, so it goes behind. So what I'm going to do is to use a toothpick, and then with that my holes are aligned now. Okay, we are done on the back. Now we flip the lens. Good thing the diaphragm is closed, so we have little risk of dust coming into or onto the glass. Then we take this element here. Okay, here I need to be careful because first I will need this, which are the washers, to give the right distance to this element here that we're going to remove. Then we put the little washers. Okay. And then what we can do is to use a rubber tool to rotate, and then remember this guy was just really lightly tight. This is what I got when I was disassembling the lens. Okay, let me do it with my finger. Okay, this tightening will do just fine. Okay, now we have the last element. We blow just to remove any traces of dust or whatever. Okay, I can get rid of this huge bell, which is useful but takes a lot of room. Okay, and then here okay, I can see just a little speck of dust, so I'm going to go back to remove it. But then this is how you service this lens. We're talking about a Tokina 35 to 100 millimeters. This is the result. I did it on artificial light. Same camera. I haven't moved my camera since yesterday just to get exactly the same result. And then, as you can see, there is actually an improvement. And this is all I wanted to show today. See you next time.